Everyone's frying flour now after seeing this genius idea. Let's start by adding 700 grams of chicken wings into a large bowl. Next, we're seasoning them with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 3 tablespoons of mustard, and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now mix everything really well so the wings soak up all that flavor. Now I'm covering the bowl with plastic wrap and popping it in the fridge to marinate for 30 minutes. Meanwhile, in a pan, we'll pour enough oil to cover the bottom. Once the oil is hot, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of butter and stirring until it melts. Now I'm adding half a cup of flour to the pan and giving it a good stir. Time to add our chicken wings to the hot oil. Let them fry until they're nice and golden brown. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can give you a big shout out. Today's shout out goes to Rose Angwa Eyita from Uganda. I'm so glad you're enjoying the recipes. I promise once you try it, you won't regret it, and your family will keep asking you to make chicken like this again and again. It's become a total staple in my house. Every time I make it, there's never any left. Look at that golden crust. I've got to show you how amazing these came out. So tell me, how do you usually make chicken at home? I'd love to know your twist. This recipe was such a pleasant surprise. Ever since I learned it, I haven't stopped making it. This chicken turns out crispy on the outside and super juicy on the inside. Absolutely delicious. Hope you're enjoying this one. I'm pretty sure your friends will be asking you for the recipe too.
This is what I do when I have ripe bananas at home. It turned out amazing. For today's recipe, I'm going to add 4 sliced bananas to a blender, along with 2 cups of milk. Also 3 eggs. Then I'll cover the blender to mix all the ingredients very well. I love making this recipe for when I'm on a diet. It's very healthy and light to eat. Once the mixture is ready, I'll set it aside to use later. Now, I'll place a cup of sugar in a pan, and I'll stir it well while it melts. Once it reaches the right consistency, I'll gradually add half a cup of water, stirring constantly. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching us from so I can send a special greeting. Today's greeting goes to Lily Thompson from Nebraska. I'm glad you're enjoying our recipes. Once the mixture is ready, I'll transfer it to a metal baking dish. This mixture is essential to keep the recipe from sticking when you take it out of the dish. And I'll spread it well on all the sides of the dish. My family always asks me to make this dessert for them on weekends. Not only is it super quick to make, but it's also incredibly delicious. Next, I'll pour the first mixture into the metal dish. Then, I'll cover it with aluminum foil. Besides being super quick and easy to make, this recipe is also very economical. I usually have all the ingredients already at home, so I don't have to go out and spend extra money on ingredients. Now I'll place the metal dish into a large pan that's big enough to fill it with water. Send this recipe to your friend who loves banana. I'm sure he'll love making it and will appreciate you sending it to him. Make this recipe at home and let me know how it turned out. I'd love to hear that you made it and liked the final result. Now, I'll cover the pan and let the recipe cook for 35 minutes. After that, I'll remove the lid and the aluminum foil to check if the recipe is done. I'll do this by inserting a knife into it and checking if it comes out dry when I take it out. Then, I'll take the recipe out of the pan and place a plate over the metal dish to flip the recipe over. Now, I'll slice a piece of it to transfer to another plate. Do you know any recipes that use the same ingredients and are similar to this one? Send it to me so I can try it at home too. I'd love the experience. Look at how beautiful today's dessert is turning out. I can't wait to try it when it's done. I'll add a little more of the prepared topping to enhance the flavor of the recipe.
Tuna, egg, and avocado. A perfect combination like you've never seen before. To start our recipe, I'll use 4 hard-boiled eggs and 170 grams of tuna. I place the ingredients in a bowl and mash everything with a fork, breaking up larger pieces and combining until I get a consistent paste. This step defines the flavor. Tell me, have you ever made a recipe with tuna? Next, I add half an avocado to our recipe. With this ingredient, our recipe becomes even more delicious. I scoop it out and mix slowly. The color changes immediately, the green spreads through the light flakes, and the texture gains a silky touch that promises a refreshing bite. Now, let's add 2 tablespoons of natural yogurt. I pour it gently over the mixture, enhancing the final creamy touch. I add half a teaspoon of salt, and now mix all the ingredients very well. And before I forget, tell me from which city you're watching so I can send you a special hug. Today's hug goes to Emily Johnson from Austin, Texas. I'm very happy you're enjoying our recipes. I continue mixing, scraping the bottom, until everything is uniform and well combined. This is the part that defines the result. As I mix, the color becomes uniform, and the texture shows that everything has come together. This step seems simple, but ensures the balanced flavor that makes each bite worthwhile. In a pan, I brush butter. I spread it with the brush from corner to corner, leaving just a thin film over the hot metal. Now, let's toast 2 bread slices. The slices touch the hot surface and start to sizzle. I wait for the first golden mark to appear, turn them carefully, let them brown on the other side, and remove them when the crust is firm but still soft in the center. I spread the mixture over one of the halves, creating a generous layer that reaches the edges, ready to unite both sides. I join the parts, press lightly with a fork to seal, and cut diagonally, forming 2 intact triangles, perfect for serving. I observe how the edges align and the bread holds the filling firmly. It already makes me want to grab one right now. I hold one of the triangles, press lightly, and see the filling emerge between the toasted layers. The aroma jumps out immediately, confirming that the combination is spot on. The crispy crust embraces the soft filling, proof that every step of the preparation was worth it.
With just 3 ingredients, make this tastiest dulce de leche in the world. Let's start our recipe by adding 900 grams of sugar in a pan. I will also add 400 grams of powdered milk. Now let's mix these ingredients very well. This is a very easy recipe, grandma's recipe, with just 3 ingredients that everyone in my family loves and you will love too. Remembering that the fire is still off here. Now I'm going to add 300 milliliters of water at room temperature and we're gonna mix very carefully. We already mixed everything very well. See how homogeneous it turned out. Now I'm gonna turn on the stove to medium or low heat and stir these ingredients non-stop until I reach the ideal point. This dulce de leche with just 3 ingredients is a hit here at home and can also be a bestseller So if you like dulce de leche, leave it below. I love dulce de leche. Enjoy and share with all your friends. I'm sure they will thank you for it. Friends, our dulce de leche has already started to darken. See that it is turning very golden, so let's keep stirring non-stop, and if necessary, lower the heat so it doesn't burn at the bottom of the pan. I already showed you the ideal point. That's the sweet spot for our candy, friends, so let's turn off the heat. See how it turned out to be a very beautiful brown color. When we use the spatula, we can see the bottom of the pan. This also shows that it is done. Now let's continue stirring our candy for another 3 minutes with the heat off. Now just transfer everything to a refractory greased with butter. See how creamy this wonderful recipe is. Friends, I waited about 5 minutes to cool our candy slightly. We can't let it cool completely as we will be cutting it. And if it cools too much, it will be difficult to cut. Is that okay? At this point, it is very easy to cut, so we will cut it this way with a knife, and you can cut it to the size you prefer. See how easy it is? I'm gonna cut all of our candy, and I'll show you the final result. After cutting everything, we will wait for it to cool completely. Our dulce de leche with just 3 ingredients has completely cooled down. It is very firm, but as we have already made the cuts, it is easier to unmold. Look how delicious it is. I'll remove them all and show you the results. I've already unmolded all our sweets, and now I'm gonna try them and tell you how it turned out. Wow, how delicious. This dulce de leche is perfect, it's soft and very tasty. It's definitely the best dulce de leche recipe in the world. Do it and tell me what you think.
You can make this cake in a pan. It's super quick and easy, a practical and delicious recipe. To start, I add 1 tablespoon of butter to the pan and let it melt completely. The butter has fully melted. Now I add 1 heaping tablespoon of sugar. I stir well to dissolve the sugar and let it caramelize with the butter. The sugar has caramelized, forming a golden, shiny syrup. Now, while the caramel is still hot in the pan, I add pineapple slices. I'm using canned pineapple, but if you prefer, you can use fresh pineapple. I arrange the slices evenly around the pan, making sure they are well placed. Done! All the pineapple slices are now on the bottom of the pan. Now, I set this aside while I prepare the cake batter. In a bowl, I add 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. The vanilla extract will give the batter a delicious aroma and a special flavor. I mix well until the sugar is fully dissolved. Now, I add half a cup of oil and half a cup of milk. I mix again until all the liquid ingredients are well incorporated. Then, I add 1.5 cups of sifted all-purpose flour, which helps make the batter lighter. I stir well until I have a smooth, lump-free mixture. I keep mixing slowly until the texture is silky and even. The batter is now well mixed. Now I add half a tablespoon of baking powder. I stir gently to incorporate the baking powder without losing the fluffiness of the batter. This batter is amazing, super light and full of flavor. Look at this perfect texture, airy and easy to prepare. And the best part is that this recipe is super fast. In less than 5 minutes, the batter is ready to cook. Now I pour the batter over the caramelized pineapple slices. I spread it carefully to make sure all the pineapple is covered. I scrape the bowl well to use all the batter and avoid waste. I spread the batter gently so it's evenly distributed and covers all the slices. Important reminder, the heat is still off so the caramel and pineapple don't burn. Now that everything is ready, I cover the pan with a lid. Then, I turn on the heat on very low and let the cake cook for about 15 minutes. Now it's time to flip the cake. To do this, I take a large plate and place it on top of the pan. Very carefully, I flip the cake so that the caramelized side is on top. I turn the heat back on and let it brown for a few more minutes. The cake is now fully cooked and golden brown on both sides. I turn off the heat and remove it from the pan. Using a spatula, I lift it carefully and place it on a serving plate. I put it back on the same plate I flipped it onto to keep a nice presentation. Now, it's time to cut a slice of this wonderful cake. Look at this amazing texture. The caramelized pineapple cake turned out absolutely perfect. Now, all that's left is to enjoy this delicious treat.
This is probably the best chicken breast I have ever made. I'll start by cutting a chicken breast in half. I made this preparation very detailed so you can achieve an amazing result in the kitchen. Then, I'll place plastic wrap on top so I can pound it with a meat mallet. Pound it well. You'll see how worth it is to make a recipe like this for dinner. I'll add wheat flour to this bowl here. Now, I'll coat the entire chicken, making sure to cover all sides properly. Tell me from which city you're watching us so I can send you a special greeting. Today's greeting goes to Michael Johnson from New York. I'm happy that you're enjoying our recipes. In a bowl, I'll add 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 3 cloves of garlic chopped, parsley to taste, half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I'll mix everything well until all the ingredients are perfectly combined. It should have this texture, perfect for the next step. Now, I'll take the chicken breast that I coated and dip it into the mixture. It's really easy to make. If you have any doubts, just follow what I'm doing. It will turn out perfect. Simple, quick, and irresistible. This recipe is perfect for any occasion. Try it at home and let me know what you think. Now it's ready for the next step. I'll add 2 tablespoons of butter. Stir well as it melts. You'll be amazed at how easy it is to create something so delicious and special. Now, it's time to fry it. This is one of those recipes that you make once and never forget. So tasty and practical. When it reaches this golden color, it's perfect. In the same pan, I'll add 1 cup of chicken broth, 2 cloves of garlic chopped, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, parsley to taste, 1 tablespoon of butter. Stir well while it cooks. You'll notice the color changes to this beautiful shade. Now, place the chicken in the pan to cook in the sauce. Turn it over so the mixture gets fully absorbed by the chicken. I have to confess, the smell of this dish is incredible. Surprise your family with a wonderful dinner by preparing this amazing recipe. Now, just transfer it to a plate, cut it, and taste this delight. Look at this fantastic appearance. It's perfect. If you look closely, the texture is also very tender. If you're looking for flavor, convenience, and speed, you've just found the best recipe on the internet. This chicken is totally worth making for dinner. It's perfect for gathering the family. If you like this preparation method, you're going to love my next tips. I still have many other secret recipes to share, so stay tuned and don't miss anything.
This is the only way I cook meat, and my family loves it. For this recipe, we'll need 4 pieces of pork. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and mix everything so the seasonings coat the meat well. After mixing well, I'll place the meat into a pan with a bit of hot oil. Let it fry for about 10 minutes. After that, flip it to cook the other side. Now it's time to remove it from the pan. Tell me how you cook meat at home. I'd love to hear your recipe. Using the same pan, I'll add 1 tablespoon of butter, let it melt, and then add 1 chopped onion to sauté. I'll add 2 grated garlic cloves and mix with the onion. Meat made like this is just irresistible. You won't want to cook it any other way. In a bowl, I'll add the juice of 1 orange, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of mustard, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and mix until smooth. I'll pour our sauce into the pan and mix with the other ingredients. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching us from so I can send you a big hug. Today's hug goes to Daniel Turner from Miami. I'm so happy you're enjoying our recipes. Now it's time to add the meat back into the pan and let it cook for 20 minutes. I'll spread the sauce over the meat and let it cook for 5 more minutes. To give it a special touch, I'll add 1 teaspoon of rosemary. This meat turns out juicy and full of flavor.
Start by adding 4 potatoes cut into half-moon shapes. The oil is already hot, so let the potatoes fry. Fry them until they turn golden for a few minutes. Look, the fried potatoes are almost ready. Now, add 12 onions cut into half-moon shapes. Mix them with the potatoes. Let the onions fry with the potatoes for a few more minutes. Be careful when mixing, because the oil is very hot and you might burn yourself. Do it cautiously. Since the potatoes are almost ready, leave them aside for now. Now prepare the egg mixture. In this bowl, add 6 or 7 eggs. Then add a teaspoon of salt. Also, add half a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix the eggs well, whisking them with a fork to make it easier. This potato recipe will surprise you. It's delicious and easy to make with everyday ingredients. I mixed the eggs well, and now the potatoes are ready. So, turn off the heat. Drain a bit of the oil and add the potatoes to the eggs. Remove all the potatoes from the pan and add them to the eggs. All in the same bowl. Don't worry, the result will be excellent. Even though it's a different recipe, everyone who tries it always wants more. Now, just mix the potatoes with the eggs well. Look, I mixed the potatoes with the eggs well. Now, put everything back in the pan with a bit of oil. Notice that I'm using a smaller pan, and the oil is just to grease it. Add all the potatoes and distribute them evenly, organizing them in the pan. Turn the heat to low temperature and cover the pan. After a few minutes, it will have cooked on one side. Then, flip the recipe. Look, it's golden on one side. Now, use a plate to flip the recipe. See how it's turning out. Put it back in the pan to brown the other side. You can use spatulas or a board to flip it. I always like to flip it this way, to keep the recipe together and avoid breaking it. And to finish our recipe, cover it again and leave it for a few more minutes to brown. Look, it's ready. The other side is perfectly golden as well. Now, take the plate and flip the recipe one more time. Look at how it turned out. A real marvel. See how our recipe stayed whole and well browned. In just a few minutes, it's ready. Cut a portion to show you how it looks inside. Try this recipe at home and let me know how it turned out. I want to know if you achieved the perfect point, and if you came up with any different ideas for this recipe. Enjoy your meal.